guys, and welcome back. Today we are going to continue talking about the Beastmen. And the first thing we're going to be looking at is the nature of the beast. The Beastmen live by the base laws of nature, twisted beyond recognition by the taint of chaos. Domination is enforced with bloody violence, and every Beastman quickly learns his place under the heel of the warherd's chieftain. Beastmen are wild and crude creatures of animal lusts and vitriolic temperament. They are truly repugnant to behold, let alone to smell, for they are a twisted reflection of the base and barbaric aspects of nature. Creatures of violence and destruction, they are as unreasoning and deadly as the hurricane that tears apart the village, the plague that ravages the lands, or the blight that kills the harvest. And yet, the Beastmen are far worse, for they have little to do with the natural order of things. The carnage and despair they spread across the land is not a part of the eternal cycle of life and death, but a malevolent and deliberate attempt to tear down and despoil everything of beauty, peace, or sanctity, replacing it with filth and ruin. Even when gathered in their torrid encampments, the Beastmen can be seen brawling, shouting, rutting, drinking, or filling their hairy bellies with raw flesh, for they are vital and virile creatures that are never truly still. While other followers of chaos may be gifted with all manner of manifestations of their patron's favor upon their path to damnation, the Beastmen crawl from the unclean wombs of the woods in a form perfectly suited to their horrid nature. They have long, rigid horns with which to gore their foes, and the legs of cattle and goats with which to trample the bodies of the victims. Their matted hair is encrusted with blood and dung, and haven for fat ticks and colonies of fleas that keep the Beastmen in a constant state of agitation. Their drool-filled mouths are filled with sharp, wolf-like fangs for tearing the flesh of their prey, and their muscular, sweat-slicked bodies are ideally suited to the murderous desires that gleam in their blood-red eyes. All Beastmen are surly and mean, for they know that they are destined to live a short, brutal life of squalor and pain. When their blood is up, and foul-smelling breath snorts from their gore-stained snouts, the Beastmen become belligerent and bellicose in the extreme, every gesture or glance brimming with hostility. The atavistic fury that each Beastman harbors within his soul is always but a moment away from the surface, and it is this rage that gives the Beastmen much of their unholy strength on the field of battle. Bitterness and spite simmers in the heart of every Beastman. It takes little more than a few well-chosen words to spur a gore into a frenzy of unrestrained rage. The sounds of distant battle will cause a Beastman to prick up his tufted ears in an instant. A fight or duel upon a woodland path will invariably bring dozens of Beastmen from all about in a very short period of time. Above all, though, it is the trappings of progress and civilization that fan the embers of hatred burning within each Beastman's breast. A mere glimpse of bright colors, especially the color red, will often be enough to get a Beastman's pulse racing with bloodlust. The sight of a proud flag or coat of arms, a pristine uniform, or a magnificent statue elicits a powerful reaction in the Beastmen, for the things of order are anathema to the children of chaos. All caution is put aside in a desperate attempt to tear down and befoul the offending article, to stomp it into the mud, smear it with dung, or rip it to pieces and chew on the remains. Woe betide those who take pride in such symbols of authority and order, for their end will invariably be messy, painful, and humiliating. Though Beastmen find it far easier to destroy than to create, they can be terribly inventive in the punishments they inflict upon their captives, and they have a sick and ribald sense of humor that leads to truly stomach-churning atrocities enacted upon those they can catch. No beastman is truly content unless visiting some manner of violence upon a hapless victim. The only tools they use are the tools of war, and even then they aren't too fussy. They arm themselves with crude blades and axes that they call man-cleavers, mostly cobbled together from the spoils of war. For not even the nimble-fingered Ungor can truly master the skills of the smith. War herds lack the resplendent weapons and baroque armor of the human servants of the Chaos Gods, for the Beastmen already belong to the ruinous powers, and the gods have no need to bargain such trinkets in exchange for their souls. This only serves to increase the jealous ire that the Beastmen have for their human contemporaries. Nonetheless, the Beastmen excel at raiding, pillaging, and corpse robbing, even when they are not marching to war. Because of this, they are never short of battered weapons and ragged suits of armor, albeit once encrusted with clotted gore and riddled with rust. Such lack of quality is only a minor setback to the Beastmen, who compensate with sheer brute strength and determination. Much like packs of wolves or lions, Beastmen are accomplished hunters, but this has far more to do with the warherd's innate ability to surround and entrap their prey than stealth or caution. In fact, all Beastmen are loud and impatient, and worse still, they stink to high heaven. A rank combination of rotting blood, days-old vomit, stale sweat, dung, and wood smoke. Hygiene is a foreign concept to the Beastmen. They scent mark and defecate upon every landmark they pass without hesitation, and after a victory celebration will collapse in a drunken stupor in low burrows, crude ditches, and even steaming piles of night soil, for they know not shame or disgust. The robust constitution of the Cloven Ones allows them to live upon the most meager or unpleasant of diets. They prefer great chunks of meat above all, but unlike their larger Minotaur brethren, they do not care if it is fresh or if it is infested and maggot-ridden. Beastmen are cannibals who gorge themselves upon the corpses of their own kind without hesitation, entrails, hair, horns, hooves, and all, and believe that to do so is to inherit the strength of the victim. This diet of dead meat is supplemented with grubs, hairy-legged spiders, poisonous centipedes, plump blowflies, and other vermin, as well as the occasional lost child or lone woodsman. It could be said that Beastmen are hunter-gatherers, though they mainly gather the body parts strewn around the place after a particularly vicious hunt. Human flesh is a delicacy to Beastmen, and rivals have been known to fight to the death over a single human arm or leg. Of all the creatures of chaos, Beastmen have an especially close relationship with Morsleib, the Chaos Moon. Whenever Morsleib is fullest in the sky, the Beastmen will hold night-long, sprawling orgies, where they indulge every base lust and bloodthirsty deed they can think of. Much blood is shed, much captured wine and beer is drunk, and many new beasts spawn are conceived, ensuring the cycle of twisted and unholy life is perpetuated. Though it is rumored that the witches and heretics of the old world join the Beastmen in these frightening and confusing bacchanals, none have ever been able to say for certain, for to stumble upon a camp of blood-drunk Beastmen celebrating under the unclean light of Morsleib is to plunge into hell itself. The rewards of ruin. Those Beastmen who do great and terrible deeds in the name of their bloodthirsty deities sometimes earn physical rewards for their service. Such gifts commonly exaggerate the bestial form of the recipient, making him all the more deadly a predator, and proving his right to lead beyond doubt. Spectacular twisting horns grow from the warrior's brow, hands sprout long razored talons, and bleed poison. Teeth enlarge into vicious swords of bone, skin secretes acidic mucus, and hair clogs into an impenetrable hide. Still stranger transmutations include bodies of living flame, fang-studded appendages that grow from the recipient's gut, coal-black skin that draws in the dark shadows, limbs that end in the gnashing heads of the bearer's victims, bodies that swell into monstrously obese shapes, and 1,000 other sickening forms besides. In most cases, it is the chieftain of each tribe who is blessed with such rewards, for it is through his will and his hatred that the war herd acts. Though it is not unheard of for a Bray shaman to bear the favor of the Chaos Gods, should he bring about the downfall of a powerful foe. The Unnatural Order. The Beastmen live in savage bands called war herds, consisting of anything from several dozen to many thousands of murderous individuals. Though they may walk upright and speak, the Beastmen are as close to animals as they are to men, and so the strongest prevail while the weak perish. Violence simmers beneath the surface of every exchange, each Beastman seeking every opportunity to enforce his superiority. Should any show weakness, he will suffer for it, and his position within the war herd will be diminished. Hence, each war herd is led by the strongest amongst them, a beastman marked by the favor of the Chaos Gods. The war herd's chieftain occupies the apex of tribal authority. It is his absolute right to rule as he pleases, provided that he has the strength to back it up. The chieftain is the master of his pack, but his supremacy is anything but uncontested. To maintain his power, he has to continually fight off challenges from power-hungry gores and bestigores. He makes a totem from the pelts of those he has defeated to prove his right to rule, so that his standard becomes a gory record of his conquests. One day, though, a challenger will come who is stronger and more vital than the current incumbent, and then the chieftain's own hide will hang bleeding in the wind from the challenger's totem. The vast bulk of the war herd consists of gores. These beastmen form the main strength of the tribe when it is gathered under the chieftain's harsh authority on the field of battle. At the bottom of the tribal order are the young gores. These creatures are not considered proper beastmen by the rest of the war herd, for their horns are nowhere near as impressive as those of the gores. The young gores wait for battle for a chance to defy their station in life. Of all the beastmen, a man taken captive by a war herd should fear the Ungors the most, for while a gore might grant him a swift and bloody end, the Ungors will torture him for as long as his body clings to life. Alongside the gores live the Minotaur tribes. These are the mightiest of all beastmen, hulking, bull-headed monsters whose all-consuming blood greed drives them to terrifying acts of slaughter. It is only the sheer animal domination of the chieftain that binds the unruly masses of the beastmen into an army instead of a raiding force. Yet even upon the field of battle his position can be challenged, sometimes turning a defeat into a victory by the timely replacement of a weak leader with one determined to prove his newly won dominance. Only a few years ago, Khazrak the One-Eye forcibly took control of the war herd of his predecessor, the Beast Lord Graktar. It was after an attack on a human army caught in the open between the towns of Kelp and Coldust, during which Graktar was wounded, that Khazrak made his move. I'm sorry, I don't know what that was. Noticing that Graktar was bleeding heavily, Khazrak challenged him for leadership and, after a lengthy fight, tore out one of his foe's horns with his bare hands. Rather than kill Graktar, Khazrak banished him from the war herd. The one-horned Graktar was mocked and jeered and driven into the forest. Yet Graktar still lives, plotting for the day when he can avenge his defeat. Graktar's followers are gaining in number, and a confrontation between Khazrak and Graktar's hordes is inevitable. Khazrak keeps Graktar's horn as a trophy, and its atonal drone has signaled the doom of many an enemy. The gaze of the dark gods. In pursuing their endless hunt, some beastmen commit such acts of savagery and bloodshed that the attentions of the distant deities known as the gods of chaos are turned their way. Ordinarily, the ruinous powers pay little heed to the deeds of the beastmen, knowing that the children of chaos will enact their will regardless of any gifts or rewards offered. The Beastmen are at once utterly enthralled to the magnificence of chaos, and totally free of any constraints upon their thoughts and actions. They do as they please, and, so doing, serve chaos with every shred of their being. Though they do not truly comprehend it, the Beastmen are a vital part of the ruinous power's eternal quest to subsume the world in a roiling, turbulent tide of unreasoning change and constant war. It is the Beastmen that tear down the elegant elfin waystones that hold the power. Well, I guess we're gonna have to finish up because it sounds like there's a saw starting in the background. It is the Beastmen that tear down the elegant elfin waystones that hold the power of chaos in check, and replace them with herd stones, primitive shrines to the fell gods. It is the Beastmen that hunt down and kill those who would otherwise remain out of the reach of the chaos gods. So it is that the Cloven Ones remain at the forefront of the war against order and light. Herd stones. To the Beastmen, the most sacred of all the dark places of the woodlands are the monolithic herd stones. These are the meeting grounds of the Beastmen, and take the form of dire and forbidding standing stones. These are often immensely ancient, hewn or even grown from fallen meteors into twisted mouths, skulls, and spires that hurt the eye, decorated with the runes of chaos, the dark tongue. The herd stones are always erected in places of magical significance, usually over one of the baleful meteors that brought the Beastmen into being all those ages ago. They are well hidden, and they are almost always Beastmen warherds and Minotaur tribes nearby. About each herdstone is to be found great piles of offerings, rusting weapons, and armor taken from long-defeated enemies. The floor of the clearing in which the herdstone stands is often strewn with an ankle-deep carpet of bones, the remains of the captives taken in battle and sacrificed by the brave shamans to the dark glory of the ruinous powers. Most herdstones are located far from human settlements, for no such settlement founded near one has survived more than a single season. Any intrusion within 100 leagues of a herdstone will cause every warherd in the region to descend upon the intruder with unrelenting wrath. And we are going to stop there, because we are entering into a new segment. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.